The main message is that even in the year of silencing the guns, mediation is an essential process of conflict resolution. Because what mediation does is that it allows parties who have been fighting to get back to a mutual solution. So it's important that conflicts end when they are mediated, because that's when the parties now realize the significance of zero or positive sum solutions. So silencing the guns, therefore, is part of conflict resolution, and mediation is an essential part of that process. So our book is saying, how do we build a capacity for mediation? Because if we don't have institutions for mediation, then it will be very difficult to silence the guns. So these are normal routine mechanisms for silencing the guns, for conflict resolution, and for Africa's own self-responsibility in resolving our conflict. So this is the most powerful message that the book has brought forward. And we hope that it will be important as we begin to build up the capacity for silencing guns beyond 2020.
When it comes to conflict mediation in Southern Africa, in fact, conflict mediation across the African continent, there's no one-size-fits-all approach that can be promoted. Such an approach would have little utility in resolving inevitable disagreements, because typically countries have varied socioeconomic circumstances and very diverse and political and historical contexts that have to be factored into the conflict resolution equation. However, from the case studies that are well covered in the book, we can extract 5 important lessons that can be applied to different situations of conflict and conflict management across the Southern African region. The first lesson is that good and inclusive governance is imperative for the future development and stability of the SADC region. The second lesson from the case studies that we have explored in the book is about the need to have effective regional preventive diplomacy. The third point is that SADC has gotten better at mediation in the last 20 years. It has moved from having ad hoc mediation missions to institutionalizing these mediation arrangements internally. But SADC has struggled to concretize provisions that provide for the inclusion of non-state actors in its peace and security programs, early warning and conflict mediation included. The fourth lesson that we can extract from the cases that we have studied is that we need to pay close attention to what happens after mediation missions are completed. The last point is very, very important, and we actually have a very, very good chapter on this issue, and it involves the need to improve women's participation in peace processes.
The peace and security that we have achieved in Southern Africa over the last 25 years is an outcome of the mediation efforts, the mediation initiatives that were launched by several actors over the last years. And we illustrate that in the book. The second point I want to mention is that the new threats that are coming onto the region, particularly the transnational crimes, armed and extremist groups, these are threats that we'll then have to begin to see whether we can, in fact, use the same kinds of instruments and tools that we have used previously to manage these emerging threats. I don't rule out the issue of state actors being important, but I'm saying that as we go forward, as we build the institutions for mediation, We have to give more room to local actors, but we also have to give more room to international actors who can help us resolve the new and emerging threats to security in the region.